Life was very hard for the Israelites as slaves in Egypt. However, some of them remained faithful to God in the belief that God could still make good things happen for them. One faithful couple were Amram and Jochebed. When Jochebed gave birth to a beautiful baby boy, she determined to keep him safe. Pharaoh had ordered all Hebrew boy babies be thrown into the Nile River. One day, Pharaoh's daughter went down to the Nile to bathe and saw a basket among the reeds. Inside, she found a Hebrew baby whose mother, Jochebed, had hidden him to keep him from being killed. The baby's sister, Miriam, was watching and approached Pharaoh's daughter to ask if she would like for her to find a nurse for the child. When given the opportunity, she got Jochebed, the baby's own mother, to take care of him for the princess. The Egyptian princess named him Moses, which means she drew him out of the water. Moses grew up as the son of Pharaoh's daughter, but one day he went to where the Hebrew people lived. There he witnessed the hard life they led as slaves. Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew, and he killed him. When he was found out, he fled to Midian. There he met Zipporah, whom he married. One day he was tending his sheep, and God appeared to him in a burning bush to give him an important mission. "I am sending you to Pharaoh to bring my people, the Israelites, out of Egypt." Moses wanted someone to help him. He did not think he was a good speaker. God sent his brother Aaron as his assistant. The two of them went to Pharaoh with the message, "Let my people go." Pharaoh answered with work for the Hebrews that was more harsh than before. God had promised that the Hebrews, or the Israelites, would have Canaan as their possession, and he sent Moses back to Pharaoh with the same message. Pharaoh continued to refuse to free the Israelites until God intervened with 10 plagues on Egypt. First, all water turned to blood. Then frogs covered the land. Gnats swarmed over Egypt. Flies covered the land. The livestock died. Boils broke out on the people. Hail destroyed anything unprotected. Locusts ate everything left. Darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. Still, Pharaoh refused to let the people go. God instructed the people to celebrate the feast of the Passover, in which each family sacrificed a lamb, painting their doorposts with the blood of the lamb as a sign. When God passed over the land, those with the sign would live. In the homes of those without the sign, the firstborn would die. Israel obeyed God, and Pharaoh ordered the Israelites to leave. They had been slaves for 430 years. God used Moses to lead them to the Red Sea, where he parted the water in order for them to walk across on dry land, leaving Egypt. Passover is still celebrated each year. God still delivers us from slavery to sin. There was a great celebration because of their freedom. However, on the other side of the Red Sea, there was desert land. The people complained, but God provided food and water for them as they traveled back to their homeland, Canaan. There were enemies along the way which God defeated for them. They had been slaves for a long time, and God provided instructions on how to live in freedom. The 10 Commandments. When God commands us to do something, it is for our good. To receive the instructions for living, Moses went to the top of Mount Sinai. The people knew that he was meeting with the powerful God they could not see. He was gone a long time, and they became quarrelsome and complained. They even built a golden calf, as they may have seen in Egypt, and worshipped it rather than God. When Moses came down from the mountain, he had 2 stones on which God had written. Seeing what the people had done, he threw down the tablets of stone, and they broke into many pieces. Moses begged for mercy for the sinful people, and God again wrote the commandments, promising to punish those who had sinned. He gave the reason for the commandments in Exodus 20, verse 2. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. And then he gave the commandments. The first 4 address our relationship with God, and the final 6 address our relationship with others. First, you shall have no other gods before me. Second, you shall not make for yourself an idol. Third, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. Fourth, remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. Fifth, honor your father and your mother. Sixth, you shall not murder. 7, you shall not commit adultery. 8, you shall not steal. 9, you shall not give false testimony. And 10, you shall not covet. God wanted his people to live in community with each other and with him. He also explained to Moses about the place of worship, the tabernacle, and the work of the priests. All of the people with skill for building were given the responsibility. All were expected to donate materials for the building and crafting of this place of worship. The tent of meeting, or tabernacle, was to have 3 divisions: the courtyard, the holy place, and the most holy place. Only the priests could go into the most holy place. The outer wall of specified curtains was 150 feet by 50 feet. The outer court contained the altar for burnt offerings. The courtyard was for the people. The holy place was for the priests. And the most holy place was for the chief priest only once each year. In the holy place there were 3 pieces: the table on which was the unleavened bread, the golden candlestick with 6 branches, and the altar of incense. Beyond the holy place, there was a curtain or veil separating the holy place from the most holy place. In the most holy place, there was only 1 piece, the Ark of the Covenant. It was a chest of wood overlaid with pure gold. It was not to be touched. There were rings on the side for poles to slip into for moving it. It was to hold the tablets of stone on which the commandments had been written by God. On top of the chest were 2 angels of gold facing each other. This was referred to as the mercy seat. The high priest came there to obtain forgiveness for the sins of the people. It represented God's continual presence among them.